Take it away.
You ready? Hello, welcome to the Patreon podcast. We're all in different houses because I'm in the UK right now. I'm actually in the bed, my wife's childhood bedroom, and
wow.
yeah. So I'm staying with the in-laws. My wife has just flown home with the baby Charlie. He's just flown home to America, and I've got one more night with the in-laws before I go up to Birmingham, and then I got Cardiff and 2 Ireland gigs. I'm at the end of the UK tour, but my in-laws are downstairs, and so I'm staying in a house, I'm not in a hotel, so this was the only other room, so I've just gone back into bed. Yeah.
You look comfy as hell.
Yeah.
Is that her childhood bed?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
She has there's things I don't understand about her to this day, but she has a poster of Jaws over there. That's all that she's got going on.
What's above you?
Wait, is she in the Jaws, the movie?
Just a person rowing?
It's a person rowing, yeah.
Okay.
But is she into Jaws, or I never heard her talk?
She's never mentioned Jaws. We've never watched Jaws. She's never expressed an interest in Jaws or sharks at all. Yeah, poster of Jaws.
That's not true. Though when we did the sharks episode from your house. Remember when we were doing from your house? And from the kitchen, she yelled some shark facts. I don't know if you remember.
Maybe she likes sharks. I don't know.
She does like dinosaurs, so maybe they're kind of closely related.
She pushes dinosaurs upon our child and acts like he likes it. And I don't know whether he's that plussed, but she pushes dinosaurs onto him.
Well, she's got to go see 65.
What's 65?
65.
It's the new Adam Driver movie where he's not a human. He's on some other planet and he's looking for somewhere else to live. And he crash lands on this planet with dinosaurs, and it turns out it's Earth 65 million years ago.
What? Don't ruin the twist.
It's in the trailer. It's in the trailer and in the description. It's called 65 because it's 65 million years ago.
And he dies, but that's just part of it.
He dies, but like again, in the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's
so it's just Planet of the Apes, but dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's a creationist movie, because creationists don't believe in evolution. And then they say that fossils were put there to test your faith and stuff. So Adam Driver when his body is found later on, they're like, yeah, see, there was no humans then. There was God up there.
He's an alien. Yeah.
I'm serious. I bet you there's some creationist money behind that movie. Look it up. All money.
You want to hear how the tour is going? I'll tell you how it's going. Yeah. The audience has been fantastic. I think it's my best UK tour I've ever had, like for enjoyment and crowds and all that type of stuff. And also I'm sober for it, so, I'm not feeling hungover all day. Although you wouldn't know it to look at me. And but I gotta there was okay. So you know how people go to see Cheech and Chong, and before they go, well, I better get stoned. I'm seeing Cheech and Chong, right?
Yeah.
A lot of my British crowd are on coke in the crowd. You can feel it, like the whole room's buzzing with confidence. and so in the UK, we have the 2 opening acts, then we have an interval, and then I come on after the interval. In America, we don't have an interval, right? Because Americans don't know how to work intervals. But I'll say this, like in America, when the audience come, they're always late. We're always starting 15 minutes late. We're waiting for them all to come in. The Brits are all there on time. God bless them. We're starting on the dot, right?
That's the cocaine. Makes you
yeah, cocaine, man. Efficient people. Anyway, so I think we're in the Apollo in Manchester. We did 3 shows there. One of the shows, the girl comes back up at the interval that works there, and she goes, there's like in the toilets, no one's lined up at the urinal and everyone's lined up at the cubicles, right? Trying to get into the stalls. And she goes, and there's loads of people just doing cocaine brazenly in the crowd. and I'm like this, and she goes, what should I do? And I'm like, what are you talking to me for? I don't know the bloody theatre. I'm like, well, catch who you can. I said, catch who you can. The ones who get away with it, you bloody You keep an eye on them for when next time they're here. All right, you're not going to catch them all.
What did she want you to do? Is like go out in the crowd and say, Jim doesn't want you guys to do cocaine anymore. Everybody stop.
Boo, Jim's gone soft.
Yeah, I did. Look, it didn't bother. Look, the heckling's been minimal. The response has been, the crowd's been awesome. I don't know if cocaine's the secret, but I don't think it's, me personally, I don't think it's a very funny drug. It's not a drug that you laugh your ass off on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, if that's what they're up to, that's what they're up to. But that was just in the Manchester gig. They were saying there was too much cocaine, and then in the Scotland, Newcastle, and I think one Manchester, we had four shows, and we had 5 punch-ups happen in the intervals. Maybe we shouldn't have intervals. Maybe it's not a good move.
Wait, what do you mean punch-ups?
They fight.
Fights.
Okay. I know punch-ups in comedy is like making a joke better, so I was making sure it wasn't the same thing. Hey, I have a couple notes for the set, guys.
Workshopping and intermission.
It's more like we're out of cocaine. And
Yeah.
another guy.
That's why they have intervals.
The coke? All right, we're fighting.
But maybe this happens at my American gigs and they don't tell me. But in Britain, the staff come back and go, "There's been a fight," and I'm like, "Okay, well, catch who you can."
Didn't you say like the Slav goes in there?
What's that?
Slav goes in there, checks it out.
Oh yeah. Slav tells me a bit about him. Slav I got a security, a Polish guy who's like, this is how good me security is at this tour.
Too. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I've got a Polish guy, and he had to have one night off. He goes, I've got a job I've already been booked into. I can't. I have to do this other job, and he gave me another bloke instead, right, for one night. And I said, no problem. And I said, what were you doing on your night off? And he goes, I was working as the bodyguards for all the UFC fighters. They had a big UFC game.
Yeah.
And UFC fight, and he was the UFC fighters' bodyguards.
Yeah.
So that's.
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram. I follow Slav, and he's always at UFC fights and stuff. And I'm always like, I always find that funny too. I'm like, yeah, I guess they do need, like, you don't want to fight before the fight, so you have to have this guy. Some guy tries to fight.
Yeah.
I imagine the drugs in England aren't as good, anyways.
They're reasonably priced, and they do the job. That's where I took most of my ones. Yeah, they're all right.
Reasonably.
You know, we're only a 40-minute flight from Holland. You know.
What does Holland have?
What does Holland have? Holland has everything.
Amsterdam.
Jack.
Yeah.
Amsterdam.
Oh, just weed? What about everything else?
No, they got plenty of stuff.
They're very relaxed on everything over there. Very relaxed.
Yeah, it's
Look, I'm not well versed in that world, so
you can go into a pharmacy and test your pills, and they'll do it for free for you. They're pretty chill.
Oh wow. Okay.
Nice.
Very, very not pro drug, but I guess
They're very libertarian.
Yeah.
Jim, before you were going on tour, you always said on your radio tours, like, I'm worried my openers are going to be better than me. How's that been turning out?
I've got 2 of the best openers in the world. Nothing wrong with Amos and Forrest and Jason and all that. But I've always got good openers. I've always been, like, a lot of comics, right? A lot of comics use shitty openers with the theory that it will make them look even better. But I've always tried to use as good a comedians as I can find. I think it's important that everyone has a good show all over. And a lot of people just use one. And I now use 2 because my theory is if you don't like one, maybe you'll like the other. And, you know, it's just a bit of variety.
Mm-hmm.
People come up to me all the time after the show when we're at meet and greet stuff. And they're always like, yeah, you guys were good. Usually the openers, they're not into or whatever. So I think your theory's right.
Oh, yeah. Some comics use complete nut of dog shit. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to say because the people don't think they're dog shit. So, I'm using 2 guys, Andrew Maxwell and Glenn Wall, who have both done Edinburgh about 12 times and had their own TV success and their own stuff going on. And they're guys that I've worked with for I've known them for 20-something years. And it's been a good laugh. We've all they drink more than you and Amos do. They get into it. When I get off stage, they've gotten into it in the dressing room. You guys are a bit more chill. And people since the special, people have been handing me edibles in line at my gigs. So they're illegal here. So Andrew, he doesn't care. I'm always like, I don't know what's in it. We had one guy hand us some edibles. It was just like, it was capsules just filled with, it looked like Vegemite, just black tar in there. It's like it was like the concentrate of weed. It's the stuff that should be mixed into the batch of edibles to make it into a gummy. But this was just, and I was a bit dubious. But Andrew just put it straight on his tongue and said it was brilliant. So yeah, actually, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't drink as much. JJ will still have a drink in there, but yeah, I don't drink as much anymore.
Well, we're about to go to Europe, and we're going all over. We're about to announce a gig in Israel and about to announce a gig in Dubai. And I don't know whether I'm allowed to mention that yet, but I'm saying it anyway.
I don't know.
Behind this paywall, you're good to go.
Yeah.
That's what I think. But we're about to announce those extra gigs, and most of the European gigs are you're already 70% sold or sold out. So get your tickets. We're coming. We're going everywhere. We're Milan. We shut on. Milan's at 1,500 people now and a 2,300 seater.
Hey.
It might make it over the line
During Fashion Week.
It's meant to be Designer Week, which isn't the same as Fashion Week. I got excited and thought it was Fashion Week, where all the models show up. This is where all the designers show up and they look at textile things. But there'll still be some nice looking people there, I'm sure. And we'll go see the Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper painting, and we'll
on a wall. I thought it was a painting this whole time. It's just on a wall. Didn't you think it was a painting?
I thought it was a painting as well.
I did too. And then I guess because I've said Milan in my phone a number of times more than I ever have in my life since we're going there. Like, you know, like stuff just comes up, and something came up in one of my feeds, social media, and it just said The Last Supper, blah, blah, blah. And it's like al fresco on a wall or something, but it's big. Huh?
So it's a mural?
Yeah, in a church though. It's like a mural in a church.
Yeah, it's not like this used to be Da Vinci's house, and now it's an Arby's, but we've kept the mural. One of the things is when you rent this building, you got to keep the mural.
Yes, tagged over it.
No, they're gonna paint over it and put angel wings so people can take pictures in front of it.
Yeah, but I always thought it was like a framed picture. I don't know shit. I never been to Milan. I don't know nothing.
I would have assumed that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought because Da Vinci did the Mona Lisa as well, and so you think like it would be like that's only a small thing. Because Michelangelo did big murals, the Sistine Chapel, and all that type of stuff.
But those are on the roof. Yeah, Da Vinci didn't want to get up on a scaffolding and speak, like, because Michelangelo was like on his back painting shit.
Probably hurt his neck.
Like, I've got helicopters to design and whatever else he fucking did. I don't remember what else he did. There used to be a movie called Hudson Hawk with Bruce Willis. It was not good. But it was all about Da Vinci.
One of those ones that Bruce Willis is happy he's forgotten.
Yeah. Dear.
I just got a card from Forrest.
You know, told me I didn't know like Jack Nicholson's got dementia now too, huh?
Oh really?
That's what I heard.
Yeah, that's when the police come. That happened the same time around the Me Too movement. All of a sudden,
I don't recall any of these situations.
Wait, you think Jack Nicholson would be Me Too?
Probably.
So Roman Polanski had sex with a 14-year-old girl in the ass in a spa bath. This is documented, and the hot tub was at Jack Nicholson's house. Like, and Jack, there's a story in fact. Huh?
Maybe he was Airbnb-ing it. You don't know.
No. I'm not saying that's enough to get Me Too, but I think he had sex with a lot of women. But there's also a story about Pamela Anderson going to the Playboy Mansion, and this is what Pamela Anderson says, and she opened the door, and then he looked at her, and he was shagging this bird, and then he came out there afterwards and went, thanks, I was having problems finishing until I saw you. That was...
That's funny.
Hi, I'm Jack Nicholson.
No, it's look. I'm saying both these stories aren't Me Tooable, but he was a fun guy, Like
No, I'm saying that the Pamela Anderson story, if true, because he's I feel like he's a funny guy. Seems like he came out. I just imagine him as an actor. Hey, thanks for coming in. I had trouble finishing.
Yeah. I feel like even in a movie, you'd be like, "What the fuck kind of line is
find
that?"
her in the party. Where is she? Yeah, all right, there we go.
I've been looking for you for 2 hours. I wanted to tell you this.
Yeah.
It's not the most comfortable thing to have a guy tell you that he's.
No, I'm gonna be like, that makes me
your
uncomfortable. Not even being in this situation.
Yeah, but if Jack Nicholson did it, you'd have a laugh. You go, that's all right. It's a good story.
I guess I'm picturing Jack Nicholson now doing that, and that's not that interesting.
Very creepy. Yeah.
Oh no, not you don't want to do it when he's about Schmidt. Jack Nicholson. It's like one flew over the cuckoo's nest.
If I saw a couple of gay guys going at it, and then one of them was a famous gay guy, so let's say Rupert Everett comes out, right? And then he comes up to me afterwards, and I open a door, and he's bumming a bloke in there, and I open the door, and I see it, and then he comes out later and goes, "Hey Jim, it's a pleasure to meet you. I couldn't finish until I looked at you." I would take it as a compliment all day. What
about if he came out and said, "I wanted to last longer, so I'm glad you walked in the door"?
Then I would be happy that I helped then as well.
That's all.
Jim's just happy to be involved.
I live to serve.
I was about to come, and then you walked in, and I saw your face, and I was like, I lasted 10 more minutes.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Wait, so why?
Yeah. I got a new tag that Glenn gave me actually that goes on about when you're in your 20s and it's like you're a premature ejaculator, right? Like this is the bit I'm doing. I go, you're a premature ejaculator, and then when you're older, you're not a premature ejaculator anymore. Maybe it's because you're not fucking 20-year-olds anymore. Maybe if you went back and fucked a 20-year-old, you go, "Oh, my condition has returned."
Could be.
Because that goes along with my erectile dysfunction. 80-year-old guys can't get erections, but they're just fucking 80-year-olds,
Yeah. Sorry, this hasn't happened in years.
Yeah.
Hey,
thought I was cured.
You went to Australia.
I ducked down to Australia for 5 seconds. Yeah.
Oh yeah, how were those flights?
It was all right, man. First class I've never flown first class before, so I did first class in Emirates. As much caviar as you could eat. They keep on going, "Do you want more caviar?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm all right." You're just sitting there. I was like laying a 24-hour trip, right?
Yeah, caviar is not a thing you can just eat a lot of. I feel like you're just
no. Yeah. I wanted to get value for money though, right? And I was just like, I was getting gout. I was just like laying there, just eating cheese and caviar, and like I was
the most famous combo of all.
It was like I was a turkey in a pen getting ready for Thanksgiving. I was just laying there going for it. And I'd taken enough fucking Xanax to make a rhino sleep. And I was just, I was waking up and I had a door and I opened the door and they'd spoon some caviar in my mouth. I go back to sleep.
You have a door?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got your own room. Yeah, you got your own room in Emirates, yeah.
Whoa.
It's like, what, 6 feet high, 7 feet high or something?
Oh, it's 7 feet high, yeah.
It's like an open thing there. Like you can't have sex in there. I mean, I guess you could, but.
Yeah,
well, if there's a will, there's a way.
Oh, no, it's about 5'5", but it's curved. So you'd have to, I could see over one, but I'd have to get right in there and lean over, right? Yeah. Otherwise it's curved a bit so you can't see into it. And you get your own. I videoed Forrest as soon as I got in there. Yeah. I was videoing him. I was in my bed. It was very exciting.
It had like a thing too. It had like not with alcohol, but just minibar drinks, and it like would come up like off the side if you press the button.
Whoa!
Right?
Oh, it had alcohol, but I requested to have the alcohol not there.
Oh, I didn't see. When you popped it up, it didn't have alcohol. So, yeah,
but it pops up. It gives you a drink, and there was also a vanity thing with a makeup table that flipped up. There's also a drawer that comes out with like pens and paper in case I wanted to write a memo. And there was Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I've never done it before. I don't think I'll be doing it again. But I saw a couple. On when we were getting back to Manchester on the last legs. I was flying back into Manchester. Who were, look, I'm new money. I have nothing against new money. I grew up poor, but these were like proper British chavs, right? And it's like neck tattoos,
Chavs.
and chavs. Like that's like the white, but like the white trash of Britain, chavs.
Yeah, but I never
Chavs.
heard that one. I love
Bogan,
slappers.
Chavs, white
That's-
trash.
Slapper is one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
so you got bogans, chavs, and
Slapheads.
white trash. Yeah,
The slappers.
yeah slapheads,
What's
the ball.
slappers? What's slappers?
Slappers are a female sort of, like just a bit rough. Yeah. Anyway,
They're like the slappers. Like they're out having a good
We
time.
looked him up one time on the podcast. There's,
Yeah,
like,
okay, that was slappers.
falling on
Okay,
the street.
You
That
gotta
was
do an
slappers?
impression
Okay.
of them. Yeah, because
I remember I was talking about. I forgot the word.
The
Okay,
first time we were driving around, I want to say it was somewhere in England. It might have been like Newcastle or something. Yeah, like, there's a couple of slappers, and when you said it, I looked at him like, yeah, that word looks like it. That's it. Just some girls that are like, cigarette, like, and they're dressed like,
yeah, they're in tracksuits and they're airport. Like Vicky Pollard, but Matt Lucas that's a good a chav slapper. That's a good sort of if you put Vicky Pollard. It's a character that Matt Lucas does on a sketch show, Vicky Pollard.
So there were some chabs on the plane.
So in first class, these are like $20,000 tickets, right? There was these two chavs on the plane, and they had their outfits would have been with their jewelry and stuff, $250,000. They were wearing Louboutin sneakers, right, with the red soles. They had anything they had said the word Chanel over the chest. They had a Dolce. Everything was like Louis Vuitton bags. Anything that you could cover gaudy fucking. The more money these people spent, the cheaper they looked.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
And I was looking at him like, well, maybe he's a Premier League footballer or something like that, right? But the wife wasn't hot enough, right? The wife was a slapper, right? So. And I'm like, there's no one in their entire gene pool ever that they could have inherited this money. That never happened. So the only thing that was possible was they've won the lottery.
Yeah.
Right? They had to have, because their outfits were $250,000 each. And their kids were dressed out in Gucci and all this type of stuff, right? And they were sitting in $20,000 seats. They were Brewster's millioning this money right away, right? But just to hear them in like their cubicles when their food was coming up going, what the fuck is this? What is this we're even eating? I don't even know what that is. Why can't they just give us some chicken or something? I could hear them in their little room just.
Remember that $2 billion Powerball jackpot in California?
Mm-hmm.
$2 billion. The guy that won it, they announced they have his name. Like he just bought another house, and anytime he buys anything, they put on there. I'm like, I can't believe he let people know his name. His name is Edwin Castro. It's like, and he won $2 billion, which he took the lump sum payout. So that's $997.7 million.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Works.
he should be all right.
Yeah. And he's fine. He bought like a $25 million house, but it's like it's 2% of his, But he just bought like another house near the gas station where he got the ticket in Altadena. But if you won it, wouldn't you like not want your name out there? Like the amount.
Yeah, but when you buy property in America, it's public listed anyway, so the people are gonna find you.
But they wouldn't know like that's the guy that won the $2 billion lottery. You have to tell the lottery company like, yeah, I want my name out there. Like that's not a good move.
Maybe there was a bird from high school he wanted it to slip through to,
Oh, yeah.
It's for the women.
The last girlfriend he had, like just from like a year before, and she's like, call me when you get some money.
Yeah. He needs press out there so he's in a bar, he can prove it. Look, this is the New York Times.
Yeah, and then he gets robbed. Anything he's wearing is going to be
Because
expensive.
they have his address online. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna. Yeah, they're thinking he's got at least a couple grand in his wallet. If you're worth.
Yeah,
something.
that's the first thing they say if you win the lottery is don't fucking tell anybody and immediately talk to a financial advisor.
Yeah, well, not
Yeah.
Edward Castro. He's out there. The gas station. I was just looking it up. The gas station where he bought it gets $1 million. Did you know that?
Cool.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
did I get $1 million?
Because I guess wherever I was just reading it, wherever the ticket is sold, they get
You get a percentage.
they get a percentage of it, which is crazy that the percentage is only $1 million off $2 billion. That means like
It's like Spotify residuals.
Yeah. Well, it's still great though. I mean, if you just owned a gas station Altadena and then you got $1 million, what sucks though is the person that sold the ticket. Probably it's just like some guy getting $10 an hour that sold the ticket. He don't get $1 million. You would hope the guy gives him like here's like $5,000.
I used to work at the news agency when I was like, this is much less money, of course, but I used to work in a news agency, and we used to have this table in the middle of the news agency where you could, when you got your scratchy, you could go up there and scratch on it. It would have advertising. It would be a circular thing, and then the middle you can put it through a slot, and that would be a bin, right? And there was this one season where they had Jokers Wild, and a lot of people were just scratching, looking for the 3 Liberty Bells or whatever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't know the
Jokers
Jokers were wild.
Oh, if there's
So,
a joker,
Yeah. So a lot of people didn't know. So I was making about $100 a week in thrown away scratchies. And at the end of my shift, I would take a great big garbage bag filled with scratchies and go back and pour them all. And also people would throw shit like there would be a banana peel or a fucking bit of chewing gum or something in there. Like it wasn't pleasant.
yeah.
But I
Wait,
used
what
to-
is
I
this
used to
job?
go
You have
through
not talked
everyone.
about this job before.
This is my very first job. I was a paper boy at a news agency, and then they made me empty all their bins and stuff when I was 11.
Wow.
Threw papers on people's front doorsteps.
No, I didn't do the front doorstep. What I did was there was a news agency in the Snive Shopping Village Centre, and then they would make me go out and deliver the papers to all the other different shopkeepers at 5 o'clock, at 4 o'clock after I finished school. So I'd go around the mall, going to each thing, going, there's your paper, and I have to collect the 25 cents. Right? So
It was a little
all the
late to
different-
distribute newspapers.
Yeah, I'd just do it around the mall, right?
Yeah.
And then when I came back, I used to have to dispose of all the garbage from the news agency that day. And then at the end of the month, they used to get rid of all the magazines. They'd cut the heads off the magazines, send them back to the magazine manufacturers to get the money back, because you just get your money back from the company. You only get the profit off what you sold, and then they throw the rest out, right? So at the end of each month, there'd be a treasure trove of Playboy and Penthouse, loads of them.
Did you sell
And
them?
I would collect them up in my school bag and sell them off for $5. They went for $8.95 in the store, and people would save up their pocket money to do this. So I would sell on these things. I was making more off the porn empire, but also I inherited that job from my brother Scott, right? And so Scott had the job. When he went off and worked somewhere else, he gave me the job when I was 11.
Wait, did
But
he used to sell the magazines too?
He taught me how to do it. He taught me where to get them, where to hide them. You know what I mean? Because they wouldn't let you just fill your bag. So I used to have a bit down near the bins where I could place them and slot them in, so that when afterwards I could go by with my school bag and collect them all in the dark, right? So I was 11 years old, fucking hanging around dumpsters, hanging around a dumpster in a back alleyway collecting porn, right? Like, how is that a thing?
Yeah, with that, you would have made a killing though there at school.
A killing. I only got $5 a shift, right? And I do that 5 days a week. I get $25 a week Australian, right?
Yeah.
I can't believe that they made like 11-year-olds do manual labor. Like, how? I watched my son live. Yeah.
But man,
It's crazy.
if I could have gotten a porn magazine for $5, I would. We used to go. There was a cigar shop, in South Miami where I grew up, and if you walked in, just right behind the register was just all this porn. It was like Playboy penthouse, and then a bunch of ones I'd never even heard of. You're just like, and like it was covered like halfway up. And I have one friend that had a lot of facial hair for his age. I think we were like 14 or something. So he grew a beard already then. He's Lebanese. I don't know if that had something to do with it, but he looked like a full-on adult at like 14. And so we would go into the store with him. We didn't think it through really good. We should have just stayed outside, but we wouldn't like with his kids or something. He's like, I just need to get some porn magazines here today. And the guy, unless he was a complete idiot, also knew our friend was not 18. Like there's no way you would look at us but he was just like wanted to make a sale, so he'd just always sell the porn to us, like to my buddy Charlie. And then that guy, he could also buy liquor. There was like a window at this place called Fox's Lounge, and it was like a place you could just drive up, and there was just a guy sitting in a window, and he sold liquor out of a window. It was part of a bar. And my guy with the mustache, we wouldn't go up to the window for that. The guy with the mustache and beard just walk up. Yes, I'm 21. How are you doing? And they just
I love that he thought that was the natural thing to say. I'm just here to buy a porn magazine.
Good day, sir.
You're barely legal.
That's how we did it back in the day. Like you younger people, you don't know. You don't know what it was.
We don't
like.
know. We're dumb. We
you get your porn online. You get your alcohol online. You get everything online.
No, you would just walk in and you'd buy a porno, and then like you would just get it. You buy a couple of other magazines. I got a skateboarding magazine. When I first started doing comedy in Britain in the early 2000s, I used to have a backpack that had 3 or 4 porn magazines. I didn't have a laptop or the internet or anything. That's what I took on the road.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like sometimes you would have we didn't have MapQuest. This is like 2002. Sometimes you'd have a wank before the show, and then you'd pull a chick and you bring her back, and your brain would be like, did I put the porn away? Or is it just sprayed out on the bed?
Knowing how your hotel rooms look now, Jim, I don't think they were cleaner back then. So I just imagine it was just like there's some food strewn around. There's a porn mag up with like
tissues.
I'd run in quickly and then just sort of swish them under the bed, like whoa, mate, and pull some sheets over.
That was a new copy of Skateboarding Magazine.
I had one time. I remember I was listening to a Discman. This is how this is pre-iPods, right? And I was in Cornwall doing a gig, right? Listening to me Discman, and I've pulled out a magazine. I've thought I'll have myself a little wank, right? So I've got the earphones on, and I'm having a wank. I'm in a bed and breakfast, the worst places to stay on earth, right? And this little Cornish lady opens the door and to see me in full stroke. She knocked, right? But I couldn't hear it, and I had my magazine, and I pull my earphones up. She slams the door, and I said, and she's speaking from the other side of the door. She goes, "I'm so sorry, I did knock," she said, and I said, "That's okay." She goes, "I was just bringing up some towels." And I go, "Well, I will need one in a minute, so just..."
And you're like, I was about to come, but then I saw your face and I
Thanks
laughed.
for making me laugh.
What? We're a Cornish.
I know what I was listening to. I was listening to John Lennon's greatest hits, like the John Lennon collection.
Why were you masturbating that?
It wasn't the porn I was masturbating.
That's all I had.
I wasn't listening to like Imagine or Woman or anything like that. I was listening to one like Cold Turkey or Instant Karma or a song like that. It had a bit of a groove to it.
So this is Christmas.
It's gonna be a white Christmas.
Wait, what makes bed and breakfast so bad? I've never even considered staying in one.
Okay, first of all, they're always owned by people who think that's their retirement plan. They're like, "Oh, we'll open a little bed and breakfast down in Cornwall." And so what happens is it's run by normally a husband and wife or a gay couple. It's always a couple, right? And they have 4 spare rooms, but they live in this house. This is their house. They just have 4 rooms. And it says everything on the tin. You get a bed and you get breakfast. They have to make your breakfast in the morning. Breakfast is their big thing.
You're sharing a bathroom now.
Yeah, you share a bathroom. Sometimes you get your own ensuite. Sometimes you share one, depending how dodgy that. There's a TV show here called Four in the Bed, which is about 4 bed and breakfasts, and they all go stay at each other's bed and breakfast, and they rate the stay and all this type of stuff, right? It's not a bad little reality show. Anyway, so the people who own them very quickly figure out, fuck, I've got strangers in my house all the time, right?
Yeah.
So they hate you. They hate you, right? The whole idea of the breakfast, you're meant to get up and have a full English breakfast, right? But every morning you wake, and they say this as you check in. They give you a key. They'll have a little booth or something, and they'll go, here's the key. It'll be a great big key with a big wooden thing on it so you don't lose it or steal it. Like it'll be like the key you get to use a bathroom in a fucking gas station, right? So you get this big monstrous key given to you. And then you go, yeah. And then they go to you like this. They go, breakfast will be served between 7 and 7:15. Like this, they don't want you to come to breakfast. they don't want you there, right? Also, there's no rules or regulations or companies that go for cleanliness or anything. So each room will be a bit great. They do the washing, they change the beds, they do all this stuff, right? One time I came home from a gig and I'd been out and it was about 2 a.m. and there was the guy that ran the bed and breakfast just sitting on the porch out the front. And he just said to me, what time do you call this? And I'm like, but I thought I'm not going to be able to get in if I tell him to fuck off. It's not a company. I can't ring any agent. I just go, oh, you know how it is. I was out with the bloody kids, weren't they? I was drinking with these fucking idiots.
It's like your dad again.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah.
What hour is this?
And then I had another experience where I was, and sometimes it'll just be a single bed as well, Jack. A single bed, and you're in this little room. And I heard like sort of my door was getting touched. I could feel it like a dunk. It wasn't knocking, but I could feel it sort of like a window in it. And I fucking opened the door, and the guy who owned the place was scurrying down the hallway with his fucking pants around his ankles. He was going around the rooms trying to hear if anyone was fucking so he could have a wank in the hallway. Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And once again, not a company. Who do I complain to? What do I do? You just fucking...
Wait, was this the same guy that was like, you're coming back late?
Jack, I stayed in a lot of these places.
Okay, I'm just making sure it's not the same guy. That was so crazy.
Wait, so that's what they put you up in comedy clubs and bed and breakfast in England?
Yeah, like if you go, it might be different now, but 20 years ago, if you were gigging down in Cornwall, all the way down Exeter, Cornwall, like all the way down to Penzance, all these this is where Faulty Towers was set, right?
Right.
Faulty Towers was a large bed and breakfast, right? That's the whole idea of Faulty Towers. It's a 4 or 5 room hotel, and there's no lifts or anything. You just go upstairs, and some people find them quaint, and they're like, "Oh, it's so wonderful!" And you get and the people will tell. I've never been to one where the people aren't fucking angry cunts who don't want you.
My mom and my stepdad and my grandparents stayed in one when they came for my graduation in New York, and there was only 2 bedrooms, so there was no other strangers with them. And apparently those people, like, because they had an apple orchard and they'd walk them through it, and they actually cooked 2 meals for them. So I think that one was okay. But I think most of them are like what you're talking. In Borat, that scene in Borat, they're in a bed and breakfast when they're in there. And the roaches are coming, that comes in and they throw the money at it and they run away because they're Jewish.
Well, that's the whole thing is like sometimes you'll find a place that goes, hey, and we have wine tasting in the lobby at 4 and we're going to do a whittling course. And people like all that shit. But I never stayed in the nice ones. I always stayed in these dodgy fucking ones that the comedy club organised.
There was a whittling course.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just making shit up now. But I mean... It's always folksy. It's always folksy stuff. Like, as you said, go pick some apples or some shit.
Oh, you didn't tell us about the Australia thing. That was a good, bad?
Oh, I just flew there, and it was the gig went fine. That I went down. I had a gig at Luna Park, and I was down there for like 2 nights, and I saw me dad. And
Shaft guy.
What's that?
what's his name? Hoff? Something Hoff. The ice bath
Oh,
guy.
Wim Hof.
Yeah, did you meet him?
No, I didn't meet Wim Hof, but I took the piss out of him on stage all the time because it was me and Wim Hof were the big names, right?
Who's Wim Hof?
Huh?
He's an ice bath guru. He's like an older guy, and he's like a wellness, like, you know, and he's like a super famous ice bath guy. Like when I mentioned him to other people, almost everybody I mentioned him knew who he was. I didn't know who he was either at first, but Wim Hof. Yeah, he's
Wim Hof.
I don't know, but he did ice baths with people at Luna Park. Like hundreds of people showed up to have an ice bath with him, where he's just like, you know, like sit here and it's good for your circulation and all that stuff. And so I was just like, he gives TED Talks on ice baths, man, and he sits in the bath while you're doing it, right? And so I was like, you know, I haven't met Wim. Wim won't come to the show because we've had a disagreement. We're not getting along. I know we're on the same poster, but I can't. I'm a hot bath person, and he says it goes against everything he believes, and he won't talk to me. And I think we should all get along. Here's the thing about ice baths. Let's say if you get an ice bath each day, you live 5 more years. Let's say that's the truth, right? Fuck it. I'd rather have warm baths. No way in the world. I'm getting in ice to extend my life. Like, fuck that. Rather die.
Yeah, when I used to count seagrass in my old job, that was one of the things we had to do. We were doing surveys. Sometimes we'd have to get in the water, and it was like 50 Fahrenheit, maybe even colder. They changed it after I stopped doing that. They're like, we need to make some regulations for that because that's too cold. I was like, oh, I'm glad you're changing that now. But you would get in with a wetsuit. But the way a wetsuit works is the water goes, you know, in between the wetsuit and your skin and then warms up. So you got to get the cold water in there first. But we would go in and out of the water. It would only be like 5-6 minute dives. We'd dive in 5 minutes, get out, and then we'd drive on a boat in the wind and do it. And it was like, that was like doing ice baths basically over and over and over again. And but you can't, you have trouble breathing. You get in the water and you're like this, like your lungs would stop breathing. It's like, it's terrible.
I used to do them every day.
Wow.
But
You remember Netflix had a
Yeah, because I played. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go.
No, I was going to say I did them every day because I played volleyball in college. So that was what we did after practice. And it's like you just get in a sports bra and spandex, and you're in there for like 20 minutes. Eventually, you like you numb. And so like after like 5 minutes, you can't really feel anything. But if you move your finger or your toes, the process starts all over again. So you just try to be as still as possible.
Really?
But yeah.
No.
Well, I was doing that documentary, the history of swearing. They did it during COVID for Netflix, right? Remember that? I was on that.
That was good. I like that show.
And so I didn't watch it, but I know I was on it, right. I watched a bit of the first episode. So they did a thing to see if swearing could make you get away with pain. So you had to put your hand in an ice bucket, a bucket of ice water. And one time you couldn't swear, and then the next time you could swear, and you could see whether you lasted longer. No. Anyway, I never made the edit because I was the person who was in there the shortest amount of time by minutes. I never made it. I put my hand in. I was like, fuck this. Even with the swear, I'm not doing that. That's very cold in there. But I got, okay, so I have a nerve problem in my hand from shaking too many hands. I can't shake in the meet and greet anymore because I got all my coked up fans come in really hard. And
from the store, you have a problem?
I started having a problem in America, and now I got really bad. This little finger, I got a joint in here that's really. So I just do that now.
You think that's from handshaking? Really?
I'll hug you. Yeah, because my right hand, my left hand's fine.
There's an episode of The West Wing.
My right hand.
There's an episode of The West Wing, and I know it's TV, but the character played by Alan Alda, and when he's on, his hand gets hurt from shaking so many hands. So there's like
wow.
Episode. I mean, that's not the whole episode, but it
could also be the masturbation, but probably the hand shaking too.
No, I can feel when they do it, and then like if I stop shaking hands for a couple of days, it gets a little better. But I have like definite damage in there now.
Wow.
And also, video games probably don't help, but I probably have a bit of repetitive video game stuff there. But the handshaking really, stuff me. But it's like people think you're rude when you do it. But I'm like, you can hug me, you can kiss me on the cheek. Like it's not like I don't let people touch me, but I can't shake their hands anymore.
Oh, you don't say it? You don't tell them?
Well, it's 100 people. I just fist bump. I can't tell 100 people. I don't shake hands. I don't shake hands. You know what I mean? So
Jim Jeffries.
Wear a sign. You
My
can
hand
watch.
hurts.
Shake my hand.
I might have to, like, legitimately, I might have to come up with a routine about how my hand hurts now from shaking hands. I don't know how Biden does it with his old man hands.
Yeah, I'm telling you that. I mean, it must be a real thing because, I mean, The West Wing drew a lot from like real life and stuff. And Alan Alda's like, he's just like shaking. He's like, hand hurts. It's like wrapped and it's like, I never even thought about it until I watched that. And I was just like,
Wow.
Well, I know.
People come in really hard.
Some
People, yeah.
I know another celebrity who's actually a wrestler, and I don't want to say who it is because I don't know if he'd want people to know this, but he, before the meet and greets, puts his arm into a sling. He goes to Comic-Con type things and puts his arm in a sling because he was done with shaking hands all the time. And so he acts like he has a wrestling injury.
Wow.
That's brilliant.
That's going to be easy to find out who that is.
Yeah, I didn't say it.
Yeah. You know what would be good for that? An ice bath for your hand after the meet and greet.
No, that would make it hurt more.
Yeah, I said.
Have you ever tried cryotherapy?
No.
There's one in
Looks like it's very
Studio
cold.
City that I go to, but it's like the tube that you stand in. It's like negative 270 degrees, but you're in there for 3 minutes, and it really does help with like joint pain and inflammation, and like you feel a lot of energy afterwards. That's much more manageable than an ice bath, I think. But it seems terrifying.
Man.
Does it hurt?
No. You just stand in there. They let you pick a song to stand in there too, and you're in there naked. You got your little socks and your gloves on, and you just stand there. And then afterwards, you feel a lot better.
What about your testicles?
I think men sometimes will wear
He doesn't
their
have those.
or just put your hands up.
I don't need one anymore. You could bloody lose them. I could just have the shaft. Man.
That would be so weird. with the pouch or no pouch?
No, you wouldn't need the pouch. I would have.
Yeah, you need to smooth it out, just the shaft.
Yeah, I would just dangle a pair of fluffy dice like you do off a revision mirror.
I think this is a good routine too. I think this is
Get some truck nuts.
Post what do you call it? What's the surgery you had? Post vasectomy.
Vasectomy.
Yeah, post vasectomy. Yeah, I'm going in for another surgery for the vasectomy.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Yeah. You have that. You have your friend. We have. Did we reach out to him ever for that? We're supposed to reach out to him. The
proctologist.
Oh, the proctologist. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. The plastic surgeon. We already did plastic surgery, but your plastic surgery buddy comes to your shows. You can ask next time you see him, you're like, hey, is there any way to get rid of the pouch, smooth out the shaft? You get some length off of it too, add a couple inches. Like
I think it'll be longer because you'll be able to push right back to the pelvic bone.
Yeah. Every guy should get it. I don't see how there'd be any problem getting rid of your testicle. It doesn't seem like.
But women do like to see the cum. So.
Yeah.
Sage advice from old Nugent.
I do have a video in my phone of a random guy coming on an iPad, and it was sexy. So we do like to see the cum.
Why is that on your phone?
Back it up, just a little bit more context for that story.
This was years ago, but some guy randomly DM'd me on Instagram multiple videos of him masturbating, and the last one was it was just a view of his iPad, and then he comes all over his iPad, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Was it a picture of you on the iPad?
No, that it wasn't even turned on.
Because he wanted you to see it. It's a black background. He wants you to see the how
it was just to show me that he had so much money he could come on, and I don't know. I have no idea. But it's in my favorites folder just because nobody ever believes.
like imagine what if he did it on like a Samsung tablet or something like that? He'd be like,
Pass.
Your Bobo.
Not impressed. Need to see it.
Kelly one day showed me because she would receive so many random dick pics. She just started. Fuck, you would like draw on them or so, like give them top hats or something.
Yeah, I was going to make a dick calendar where I just decorated a dick for every holiday. So I had like a leprechaun, I had a snowman, I made Santa. So I would just like I would either use clip art or draw on them. So I would do like a top hat and a monocle. They look better.
Do people ever send a flaccid or they always send a hard?
I've had flaccid, and it's usually from guys who have like a humiliation kink. There was one guy I got a Snapchat at work when we were still at the show, and it was a picture of a guy getting this close to sucking his own dick, and I was like,
"Oh yeah, that photo."
You remember that? I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? He's like, is it weird that I can do this? I was like, it's fucking weird that you're sending. We had never talked before. He goes, hey, are you in Australia? And I said, no. And then he sent it.
It doesn't matter. Sending it either way. That was his icebreaker. Hey, how's it going? What's up?
Yeah. Men are normal.
All right, guys. I gotta go. I got dinner.
Oh,
bed and breakfast. Yeah. See you later.